Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Living Stories with Debbie. And I'm trying a totally different setup. You can see over here, I'm at my kitchen table. You can see over here, got my boxes and stuff that need to go back to Amazon. And I have a few little decorations. And I'm going to try, we're going to work it out. We are going to read Galileo's Leaning Tower Experiment. Now, which one of those two are Galileo, do you think? I'm going to turn it around to the back. Does that give us a little bit of clue? I think it does. So let's begin. And we're going to start with this pretty picture. Oh, what is that? Massimo threw a stone off the bridge and watched it fall, plop, into the river. Hey, Massimo, why don't you come with me? Called a boy, herding a flock of goats across the bridge. Massimo waved. Thanks, but I have to wait here for my uncle's boat. Massimo threw another stone. Plop. That looks like a good game, the stranger said. Oh, it's not a game, sir, Massimo replied. I'm watching how fast the stone falls. Why does that even concern you? The man asked. Because I'm waiting for my uncle, Massimo explained. Every market day, I have to drop this food off for him to eat. He looked at the river. Oh, here he comes. Here he comes in his boat now. Can we see his boat? Oh, there it is, right there. Massimo picked up a wheel of cheese and a loaf of bread, and just before the boat passed under the bridge, he plopped them. Let's see. There he is, way up there, way up there. They landed on the boat with a small thud. Strange how those two things landed at the same time, the stranger said. Of course they did, replied Massimo. I wouldn't let my uncle's food fall into the river. But the cheese is heavier. It should have fallen faster. It should have landed in the boat first, the man said. He stroked his beard. Could Aristotle be wrong? Good morning, Professor Galileo, a group of noisy students called out, laughing and pushing each other as they crossed the bridge. Massimo stepped away from the man. You're a professor? He asked. I am, the man said. But this morning it seems I am your pupil. As Galileo walked slowly away, the rowdy boys followed. Massimo walked to the marketplace to meet his sister, Angela. As they packed up the donkey cart, Massimo said, I just met a professor from the university. He was very interested in how I dropped the bread and cheese into Uncle's boat. And why should he be interested in that? Angela asked. Those professors, they waste their time thinking. Well, perhaps they do, admitted Massimo. He didn't even know how to drop food from a bridge. And all week long, Massimo was busy with his chores on the farm. At the end of the week, he went to the bridge again. He smiled shyly when the professor walked up to him. Are you dropping more food for your uncle? Galileo asked. Yes, sir, Massimo answered. Here he comes. The boat moved swiftly down the river. Massimo waited for just the right moment. Do you guys remember how tall that bridge was? Let's think about that. How tall he was up on top of that bridge. Excuse me. Yes, sir, Massimo answered. Here he comes. And the boat moved swiftly down the river. Massimo waited for just the right moment. Then he dropped the bread and cheese. Galileo listened carefully as the packages again landed with one thud. Oh, he shook his head and asked, how could Aristotle be so wrong? Is this Aristotle a friend of yours? Asked Massimo as they walked to the marketplace. The professor laughed. Oh, I wish I had such a friend, he said. Aristotle lived almost 2,000 years ago. Many people believed he was the smartest man who ever lived, and he explained how and why things happened. Like how things fall? Massimo asked. Exactly, Galileo replied. He said that heavy things fall faster than light ones do. For the second time, you have shown me that that isn't exactly true. Well, I will tell you what I think, Galileo said, stopping at the fruit seller's cart, and he picked up a pear and let it fall to the ground. Uh-oh. That pear fell because it had to, Galileo said. The earth has a force that pulls all things toward it, unless, and he threw a grape into the air and caught it in his mouth, unless something stops that fall. Well, why did Aristotle say that things fall at different speeds? Asked Massimo. I don't know. But we know that the bread and cheese fell the same distance to the boat, and we heard them land at the same time. So the speed of the fall must have been the same too. So Galileo said goodbye, and Massimo walked over to where his sister was packing up to go home. Who was that? Asked Angela. Oh, that was Professor Galileo, the man I told you about. He looks too young to be a professor. Don't believe everything he tells you, Massimo. Everyone knows that people only gain wisdom with age. So that afternoon, Massimo told his donkey all about it. People say Aristotle was very smart, but I wonder if he ever tested his ideas. Then he would have seen what really happens. The donkey shook his head and snorted. Said Massimo. I've only tried dropping bread and cheese. Maybe other things fall differently. I don't know. He found a hammer. Excuse me. He found a hammer and a broken buckle. He held them up and let them go at the same time. I think they landed together, but I really couldn't tell, he said. Maybe I need to be higher up. Massimo climbed up on top of the roof and dropped the hammer and buckle again. They still seemed to hit the ground together. Angela came out to feed the chickens. What are you doing? She asked. Massimo told her about Aristotle and the speed of objects falling. Angela shook her head. If you ask me, this Aristotle was right. You know how slowly a feather falls. Oh, let's try that, Massimo said. He picked up a chicken feather and dropped it on the hammer. The hammer fell straight to the ground, and the feather drifted lazily down. Let me see if I can get really close. You're right, Massimo said, bowing his head. Things do fall at different speed, and Aristotle was as wise as everyone says. Oh, I must tell Galileo. So we'll see the picture really close. So where is he at? I'm trying to see. Oh, he's at the market. So here's the market, and we'll take a really good look at that. And look at this very big, very big, very big statue of Aristotle. The next day, Massimo looked for Galileo on the bridge and at the market. The professor did not appear, I must look for him at the university, Massimo decided. Shabbily farm boys were not allowed. Shabby farm boys were not allowed at the university. But Massimo took a deep breath and walked into one of the huge marble buildings. So this is not the market. This is the university. Crowds of people stood everywhere, talking and laughing. No one noticed him. Massimo hurried through the courtyard, and he stopped only to admire a statue with letters carved into the stone below. "Oh, I wish I could read that," he said quietly, as he ran his hand across the letters. "What are you doing there?" a voice growled. "Let me do better than that." "What are you doing there?" a voice growled. A large man loomed. Let's see this large man. There he is. A large man loomed over him. I need to see Professor Galileo, croaked Massimo. We'll see about that, the man said, and he took hold of Massimo and marched him through the halls. They stopped in front of an open doorway. "Professor," the man said gruffly, "this boy here says he wants to see you." Galileo smiled. "Oh, this boy says he's here to see me? Ah, yes. My friend from the bridge," he said. "Please come in." The man scowled and pushed Massimo into the room. Massimo stared at the books and the papers that filled the office. And that is right here. They filled the office. A thick book on the desk looked as if it had more words in it than all that anybody knew. "Well, what brings you here?" Galileo asked kindly. "I'm sorry to trouble you, Professor," Massimo began, "but it looks as if Aristotle was right after all. He told Galileo about the buckle and the feather." We got to get this picture in view. Okay, what do we have here? We have a rock, right? And a piece of paper. What a view. I love that view. Let's do right here and I'll read. Galileo chuckled. "Interesting. I have been dropping things too." And he handed Massimo a sheet of paper and a rock. "Here, drop these." Massimo held them as high as he could, and he opened his hands, and the rock fell to the floor while the paper just floated down softly, just like the feather. Galileo crushed the paper into a ball. "Here, try it again." This time, interestingly, no, that, okay. This time, both objects hit the floor together. "Oh, what happened?" gasped Massimo. "Oh, it's the air," Galileo replied. "Air is all around us in what looks like empty space. A piece of paper has a large surface, so when you drop it, the air holds it up a little longer and it takes longer to fall." Massimo nodded slowly. But by crushing the paper into a ball, you made the surface smaller, so the air didn't hold it up so much. He picked up the paper ball. The paper and the rock fell at the same speed. So Aristotle really was wrong. "Yes, but I must prove it," Galileo said. "And it's not easy to change people's minds." "You could show them by dropping things in front of them," Massimo said. "Yes, but where are we going to drop it? Just right in front of them?" The bells in the old tower began to ring. "The bell tower," Massimo exclaimed. "It's the tallest building around." Galileo smiled. "Oh, I will invite everyone from the university. Will you help me?" Let's get a good view of this. The next day, Massimo hurried through his chores and went into town. Many people were already gathered around the tower. As Massimo walked through the crowd, he heard bits of angry conversation. Galileo is crazy. How dare he challenge the great Aristotle? Oh, I am named after Aristotle, and I will not let this professor make a mockery of my name. Massimo found Galileo, surrounded by teachers and students. The boy named Aristotle called out, "Professor, I am very interested in your demonstration. May I assist you?" As the boy bowed low, his friends snickered. Massimeo made his way through the old two. Wait, Massimeo made his way through the older boys. "Oh, I am here, Professor, to help you," he announced. Galileo smiled at Aristotle. "Thank you, but I have an assistant." Let me see if I can get that great picture in here. Oh, what do we see? Okay. Galileo and Massimeo rolled several cannonballs into the tower. That student named Aristotle stuck his head in the doorway and sneered at Massimeo. "One of those balls weighs as much as you do. I'll help." "No, thank you," Massimeo said and pushed the older boy out. Quickly, he swung the door shut and bolted it. And one by one, Massimeo carried the heavy cannonballs to the top of the tower. And at the top of that tower, I'm going to stop right here. Look at that view, you guys. That would be amazing. And do you see all those tiny things out there? Can you see what they are? Those are people. At the top, Massimeo looked down at the sea of tiny upturned faces. "Professor, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, there's my phone. It's as bad as chickens are, aren't it?" "Professor, it looks as if all of Pisa has come to see our demonstration." He and Galileo set up two long boards. Between the boards, they placed a cannonball and a smaller musket ball. Oh, can we see that? Can we see? Oh, can you see that small musket ball? Oh my. Galileo waved to the crowd and told Massimo to stand ready. "Now!" Galileo shouted. They pulled away the board in front and pushed the back piece forward. The two balls rolled over the edge at the same moment, and time seemed to slow down as Massimo watched the balls fall. Then they hit the ground with a single thud. At first, there was complete silence. Then people began to argue about what they had just seen, and they started to chant, "Again! Again!" Galileo and Massimo repeated the demonstration over and over. There's all those balls right there. Over and over, and finally, even the student named Aristotle agreed. The large ball and the small ball landed together. They must have fallen at the same exact speed. When Galileo and Massimeo came down from the tower, the crowd cheered. Galileo and Massimo shook hands. "Well done, my young friend," Galileo said. "You have helped uncover a great secret just by asking questions and paying attention." That's my son. He is blowing off the front of the house from doing the grass. Boy, is that how it works in your house? You try to read a book and there's all kinds of clamor and commotion. "Well done, my young friend," Galileo said. "You have helped uncover a great secret just by asking questions and paying attention to how things really happen. You have the kind of mind I enjoy teaching. Would you like to be my student?" Oh, yes, Sir Massimo answered. There's so much I want to find out about. How fast do things fall? Do they speed up on the way down? What happens if I throw something instead of just dropping it? Galileo smiled. Well, at the university, you can explore all those things and more. Truly, you will help us observe common things in uncommon ways. And we have this little thing. You can leave now, but I am going to read this backstory to Galileo. So, this story takes place actually in 1589. It was an exciting time of many new scientific discoveries. And at the age of 26, Galileo had just become a professor at the University of Pisa. He began doing experiments to explore how and why things moved. Legend has it that Galileo dropped weights from the Leaning Tower of Pisa to test his ideas. Historians are not sure whether this event actually occurred because no eyewitness accounts exist. In this version of the story, Galileo and Massimo, who is an actual fictional character, compare the speed of two falling objects to see if one lands before the other. And if you were to try their experiment way up high, the Tower of Pisa, you will find that the higher you hold the objects, even if it's in your home on a stool, the easier it is to see if they land at the same time. Try it with different pairs of objects. If they land together, they are traveling at the same speed. Galileo also experimented with rolling balls down a ramp. He measured the speed and found that the closer the ball got to the bottom of the ramp, the faster it went. He called this change in speed acceleration. Galileo went on to make many other important discoveries through observation and experimentation. Today, Galileo is considered one of the founders of modern science. Well, I hope you like this book. I'm not sure. We'll see. Give me a thumbs up if you like this format in which I can read and show you the pictures at the same time. Hopefully, next time we don't have the phone ring and we don't have my son out doing yard work. We will see you next time.